she's putting all of her cards down on the table, knowing there's no way that you'll be able to win this one. But she's somebody else in the making. First, she just gotta stop all the faking, and she'll be there. But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like this forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space.
Good morning. Here we are. Week 1, day 2 of the Dopey training plan. I thought I'd take a moment this morning to introduce myself. My name is Tara, like Tara sheet of paper, or Tara hole in the wall, or Tara a muscle. I know that's silly, but that's just who I am sometimes. I am a 37-year-old mom of 2.5. I have a stepdaughter that's 20, a little boy who's 8, and a little girl who's 6, and they keep me busy, as well as my real estate career. And my husband, of course, and this house. I mean, I'm always doing something. So every day is going to be a challenge to find the time to get out here and actually commit to training. So we'll see how that goes. I documented my wine and dine half marathon training last year. I did a 19-week program from June 29th until wine and dine in November. And I lost my dad during that time, so I struggled with some grief and depression that, isn't typically like me. I'm not all doom and gloom, but last year I was. So running and sticking to the program really helped me get through some of that and process. If you want to talk about like RunDisney career, 2019 Princess 10K is the one that started it all. Then I did Princess 2020, the half marathon, and then when the world shut down, I actually bought my annual pass on that trip. So I was so thankful that even though after the world shut down, I was a pass holder and was able to go back to the parks, which was super fun and exciting and a once in a lifetime experience. Golly, I got sidetracked. That's typical of me. So stay along. But then I did wine and dine, the 5K, 10K, and half. And then I had no intentions of doing anything other than Princess at that point. But then I had friends that were doing Goofy. And December 14th or 18th of last year, I decided that I came across a charity that had some bibs available. And I decided, I'm going to do Goofy to surprise my friends and be there with them. And I was able to quickly train for my Goofy experience, which is a half and a full back-to-back. And I did that. I did not do that gracefully, but I did it. Then I did Princess weekend, the yoga, 5K, 10K, and half. And I skipped Springtime Surprise. But this upcoming season for RunDisney, I am trying to do perfect attendance, so we're gonna do everything. But we're not gonna do anything if we don't get to running, because I have limited time on my hands. So let's get to it.
Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better, then that's where she'll go. That's where she'll go.
Okay, I'm 1.5 miles in. Average mile of 10 minutes and 52 seconds. My plan was to run 1 mile without stopping and then start intervals. But at 1 mile, I felt so good, and I had like a visual goal, so I kept going. Then when I hit that visual goal at the end of the street, I still felt good. So I said, well, let's see what we can do. So I found another visual goal. So 1.5 miles of straight running. This is hard, you guys. The humidity right now is like 1,000. It is so moist. Okay, so I'm about to start my intervals. 1 minute run, 1 minute walk. And in each of my walk intervals, I'm gonna try and give you a fun fact about me. So let's learn something, why don't we? Walk break number 1. I am a Christian. I do listen to DJ Pauly D radio when I'm running, or whatever will like pump my blood. But I'm a Christian, but I fail every single day. And that's the amazing thing about God's unfailing love, is that even when you mess up, He shows you so much grace and mercy that, like, how could you deny that? I mean, He allows so many opportunities in my life that can only be described as gifts or miracles from Him. So let's get to running, because I do also believe that God cares about our health and wellness, and when we take care of our bodies that have been given to us, that we're honoring God in that way too. I try to remind myself that when I'm downing a bag of Doritos, but like I said, I fail every single day. I am a minimalist runner. I run in Vibram 5 fingers. Cannot run in traditional tennis shoes. I tried 2 different pair last year. I tried the Newtons and the Ultras. I just can't do it. I've been running in Vibram 5 fingers for like 10 years, or wearing them, not necessarily running in them. It's just an easier way for me to run. I'm a 4 foot striker. So that means I land on the front of my feet when I'm running and not heels. It's time to go again. But some people always ask about my Vibrams or about my shoes. So I will make a video on that later. Hello again. I am very, very ADHD. Like, I can be talking to you and having a conversation and then squirrel. And that totally gets my attention. So I have to try really hard to focus, especially when I'm talking to people. Like, focus on what they're saying. Focus on what they're saying. Because my brain just works so quickly that what's happening in real life, my brain feels like it's always like a couple seconds ahead. So if nothing is cohesive in my life or in this storytelling adventure, that's why. Oh, there we go.
Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that'll make her feel better? Make her feel better, and that's where she'll go. That's where she'll go. That's where she'll go. That's where she'll go. That's where she'll to myself like someone's gonna respond. I'm getting tired of myself cause I don't know what I want. But I'm not out here on my own. She's putting all out.
Another walk break. I don't think I'm a good cook. I'm glad my husband can't weigh in on this video right now, but I think the one thing that I can make good is chicken Alfredo. But like, it's probably something that I would like to get better at. It's just the thought of being in the kitchen and cooking and then cleaning, and nothing of that appeals to me. But like, you know how you always get asked that question, like, if you could afford one luxury, what would it be? Totally, I would have a cook. Like, I'll do the dishes fine, or I'll load the dishwasher rather, but like cooking, planning, prepping, touching raw meat, I just can't do it. I do cook. My family doesn't starve, but I don't ever think it tastes very good at all. Here's our turnaround. Woo!
But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like this forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's where she'll go. That's where.
Okay, so I am a closet automobile file. Does that even make sense? No. A closet car enthusiast. Like, I could spit out quotes about the 2023 Sequoia or the 2010 through 15 Lexus or the 1985 Ford Mustang GT or others. I like to watch vehicle reviews on YouTube and learn about like the new vehicles coming out, and I also like to spit random vehicle facts that my friends think I'm weird for. Favorite sports teams: Atlanta Braves, New York Yankees by marriage. Oh look, there's husband, by the way. Ooh. College football, Georgia Bulldogs. Go Dogs. NFL, Colts by marriage, Atlanta Falcons by geographical location. Favorite NASCAR driver? You know, that's Dale Jr., even though he doesn't race anymore. It's time to run again. Oh, and I forgot basketball. I like the Lakers. Okay, more fun facts. Fun fact: I'm tired, and it takes a lot to get me like motivated. But I'm naturally like hyper, but like in the morning, until that green tea kicks in, because I don't drink coffee, I find it hard to get like started. But once the green tea kicks in, brings me back to normal hyper-terra. Feel like I live at a like increased frequency. Does that make sense?
She's wondering if it's gonna feel like she's forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's
Okay. Another fun fact is I don't love Disney. And let me break that down for you. I think Disney as a whole is a little schemy, slimy. I don't know. It's just, I don't love Disney as a whole. Run Disney through and through. Disney parks through and through. Like, I think the parks and the runs are the most magical parts of Disney. The community of Run Disney. I mean, if I would never have ran that first 2019 10K at Princess, I wouldn't have been bitten by the bug. And now I have a whole community of friends, some of which were the first to call and check on me after my dad died, and were some of the ones that I could just call and, hi, I'm vlogging. Some of them have picked me up off the floor when I couldn't stand up myself. So the Run Disney community is by far my favorite part of, or one of my favorite parts of life, or favorite part of Disney. The parks, just in terms of the logistics that it takes to, hold on, I'm getting out of breath. The logistics that it takes to effectively run a park of that capacity and manage as many guests as possible and do everything almost flawlessly while keeping a clean and safe environment. The logistics, I can never wrap my brain around it, and I'm just in awe the whole time I'm there. So that's one of my favorite parts. I'm at 3 miles, a pace of 12 minutes 52 seconds, and it's time to run again. I may be, in Teresa B's eyes, a Georgia peach, but my heart lives in Florida. I am about 98% sure that if it comes to me living in Georgia or me living in Florida, I'm a happier person in Florida. Good morning. I've never seen that person before. I am going very slow today, but I think it's because I've been talking and distracted and not paying attention to my timers and my time. That's okay though. That's okay. It's only the second training run. I'm not gonna beat myself up too much about it. It's another turnaround. I gotta come get that sign. Okay, favorite characters. Well, Mickey, obviously. But if you want to talk about Fab Five, I would say that Goofy or Minnie
kind of have my heart. I relate a lot to Goofy because I'm tall, lanky, and kind of goofy. Sidekicks though, I can't decide between the genie and Olaf. I mean, and I'm talking about Robin Williams' genie, not Will Smith. Although he was great. But the genie in Aladdin, the animated Aladdin, was just hilarious, but so is Olaf. So I like both. Princess is Snow White though. She's the OG. She's so underrepresented. But she's my favorite. I'd have to say Little Mermaid is my favorite princess movie though. I think for more of nostalgia, and that was my favorite growing up. Favorite movie, Alice in Wonderland. However, another fun fact is I've never been able, no. Let me wait till I stop so I can breathe. Okay. Ooh. I'm slower than yesterday, but I'm at the same mileage as yesterday. Okay, so in terms of movies, I love the animated and live action versions of Alice in Wonderland. However, I have only seen those movies all the way through like maybe 5 times my whole life. In both versions, I fall asleep. It's usually right before the Mad Hatter Tea Party scene, but I fall asleep almost every time. I don't know if it's the music or the whimsy or I get lost in like this dreamlike state when I'm watching those, but I love them. I just can't make it through them. Last factoid is that I blister on every single run. So that's why I spend some time pre-run bandaging up my feet, just because no matter what shoes I wear, but I blister. Even when I was trying the traditional tennis shoes, I blistered. So my skin is just very sensitive, or at least very sensitive when I run. So I think that's about it for the fun facts. Let's talk stats. Okay, here's our stats. I was active for a total of 55 minutes and 6 seconds with a total distance of 4.59 miles. 4.59 miles. Average pace of 12 minutes per mile with 161 beats per minute and 71 degrees with a whopping 94% humidity. Ugh. I know you can feel that through the screen because, oh, it is, my least favorite word. Moist out here. For it to be my least favorite word, I sure do say it a lot. But I think I do it mainly in case one of my best friends is watching and she can enjoy that because it's her least favorite word as well. Today felt really good. I was super distracted by giving the fun facts while I was in my walk intervals, and I think that distracted me from paying attention to my pace. And there were a few times where I wasn't quite done saying what I needed to say, and the timer to run went off, and I kept walking a little bit further, so that really slowed down my pace a lot today. But that's okay. It's only day 2. This is not the end of my training. We're going to have bad days. It's 29 weeks of running. We're going to have bad days. We're going to have days where we don't feel like running. We're going to have days where things go so great. We're going to have days that we PR. Like, there's going to be all kinds of days. But as long as we just keep showing up and keep our consistency with running 3 to 4 times a week, I mean, we'll be fine. We will get to the finish line. I like to start out things strong, in which I'm starting out strong, and then I will derail, or I have a tendency to derail or get off track or whatever. But I'm going to commit this time to making sure that if it is a scheduled run day, that I am going to try to run that day, and I am going to try to make sure the video gets put out that day as well. Last year, and if you go look at my Wine and Dine playlist, you could see I'm only up to like week 9 in training, but I did vlog every single run. But I was so distracted and in my feelings last year that like some days I didn't feel like even looking at the computer, much less editing footage. So I'm sorry, but I'm working on it. But this time I'm really gonna try to commit to doing the videos the same day. All right, I'm gonna go stretch and maybe do some core work, maybe, and then cool off, take a shower, and get my day started, because my story continues.